all you can see is sort of bits of my head. Just what you always wanted to see, just part of my head. So, today just going to be doing a little bit of Trials Fusion. Not going to be doing anything particular, I'm just going to go online, I'm going to do a few tracks. I mean, because there's a hell of a lot of good tracks on here, there really is. And some of these tracks are absolutely amazing, and I need to sit back a little bit, because I feel like I'm getting way too close to the camera. So, yeah, let's check out Track Central. And let's take a look at some of the awesome tracks online. I'm going to have a look at some of the ones I've recently played, just to give me an idea of what I've been playing. See, that, for what it is cool. You'll see on the screen it says for Heretic. That one, there's no motorbike involved. It's kind of just running around. So, but it's cool. So I'm going to start with one of my son's favourites. This is one that he's a hell of a lot better than me at. I mean, for a 4-year-old, he works pretty good, so hopefully all you guys are all okay again. Still working on the channel a little bit. I'm going to be doing some more Lego Jurassic Park games with my son. Well, more playthrough, should I say. I think we've just finished part 9, so we should be on to part 10 as soon as we get a minute to do it. It's just obviously getting us both together, so trying to squeeze in as much as I can before he starts full-time school, because by that point it's going to be even harder to do videos with him. But I quite enjoy doing videos with my son. To say he's only 3-year-old and sometimes needs a bit of prompting, or he might need a little bit of a hand, that kind of thing. He's very, very good at what he does with his games, so quite impressed by... Oh, nearly bolts that up. So yeah, quite impressed with what he does with his games. He's really good. So yeah, rather than sort of like just sit and talk about just generally the game, just thought I'd have a bit of a talk, a bit of a natter. I'll say, as of late, I've been thinking a lot about these remaster games. Basically just for games where you've already played them on another system and they are bringing them out on PS4 again with a HD sheen, slightly better resolution or something like that, and then selling it back to you again for probably another, what, £30, so, you know. So I've been thinking about those quite a lot as of late. And when it comes to these remasters, they are cool. I mean, seeing a few, we got the Final Fantasy, which, to be honest, for us was a mistake. We're not Final Fantasy fans. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. You know, I mean, that Final Fantasy 15 looks absolutely stunning. It really does, but I think the problem for us, we'd never actually played any of them before, so it wasn't exactly good for us, because it just wasn't our type of game. Now, as a remaster, obviously, you know, it's been out on PlayStation 2 for, well, forever. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, well, personally, if I could choose, what would I want? And I came up with quite a few strange choices. I would say my top choice to bring out as a remastered game, this was PS2, and I think it was Xbox as well, the original Xbox, would be the Rocky Legends game. Because the Rocky Legends game was just absolutely awesome. I mean, it did get a little on the repetitive side, but it was still, you know, like, just good fun. Let's try that one. So yeah, it was just generally good fun. Had a laugh with that. You know. And to be honest, if I did do it, I mean, if we're going to do it as a remaster, I mean, obviously they're going to make the graphics look a hell of a lot better, make it work for PS4, that kind of thing. But I would pretty much include characters from, like, the last two Rockies that weren't out by that point. I mean, 'cause obviously Rocky Balboa wasn't quite out when that was released. So you could have, like, an extra look of Rocky in there. I mean, 'cause you had the version of him from all the other movies, so might as well add it. Whoop! So yeah, I would do that, and then I'd add Mason Dixon, and then, I mean, obviously, oh bollocks, obviously depending on when they did this, I would probably add, is it Adonis Creed from the new one? From the Creed movie? I mean, 'cause that movie really does look awesome. I mean, I would say that, obviously, I'm kind of biased, and I'm turning that way because I'm going to try and block out some of the light. No, I think I've just made it 10 times worse. I'm going to turn again. Eventually, I will get it right, to the point where you can actually see me, instead of just glare. If I get any further, I'm going to be into arcade machine here, but... So, yeah. So when it comes to these... remaster games, I mean, there must be a hell of a lot that people want that just aren't going to come. I mean, we're not going to cover everything, obviously. I mean, the major games, the Grand Theft Auto, I don't think has had a remaster, but it is available on the PSN store. I think, obviously, for PS4. So, you know, I mean, off the top of my head, that's one of the first ones that I came up with. I mean, obviously, over time, I'll probably think of other ones, but that one is one of the sort of like one of my go-to games, I guess. One of those games where, you know, you just had a really bad day, you just want to relieve a little bit of tension, so you whack on the Rocky Legends and you're away, you know? So it is a good choice. So yeah, if anybody else sees this video, has any other ideas, leave them in the comments section, because I'm curious to know what everybody else likes the idea of being released as a remaster. Or do you not like the idea of remasters? I mean, personally, for me, it all depends on the game. I mean, I think going to be a few games that are going to come out as these remastered for the PS4, PS3, whatever, which nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and we're going to get them anyway. So, having a go and having to repay for it again, which, you know, I understand why you have to pay. They've put a lot of effort into remastering it, but it does... I am not having this, am I? It does seem to me like they're struggling to get brand new games out. I mean, it seems to be across both boards. I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh well, PS4's getting more on the Xbox One or whatever. Personally, I don't think they are. I think we're getting about the same amount. It seems to be, but a lot of the AAA companies especially seem to be taking their sweet time and getting stuff out. We seem to be having a lot more in the way of indie games, which is, you know, they've made it a bit more easy for indie game manufacturers to make indie games, and some of them aren't so bad. At the moment, I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm in the middle of doing a... Oh, what was it? Vanishing of Ethan Carter, that's right. Doing a playthrough of that, which I will be getting back to as soon as my wife has 2 minutes, because we're doing that one together. So, yeah, there's that one, and I still want to try and get my hands on the... Everybody's Gone to Rapture. That's another one I want to, at some point, try and play when I get round to it. I say get round to it because, obviously, having 2 kids, especially at their ages they're at, makes it a little bit tricky to, you know, do a lot of gameplay, which probably has a lot of people asking, why the hell have you started a gaming channel when you got kids? I mean, you know, a lot of it can be done with my son. I mean, not both of them, obviously, because the one's not quite there yet, but something we can do together and that kind of thing. I mean, it's always good as well when do it with the kids, because the walkthroughs I do with my kids are generally family friendly, so most people can watch those, whereas some of the ones that I do on my own or do with my wife, just, you know, I wouldn't recommend kids watching. Because as some people have said, I do have a bit of a potty mouth. We'll just say it like that. This is quite fun. So there's one thing I'll say about this game. You never ever get bored or short of tracks. There is always another track to do. Always another one. I mean, the fact there's like in the region of about 65,000 online tracks, some of which are probably better than the ones in the game. So they left that, you know, like nice and neat, so people could do their own, which I thought were kind of cool. Does add like an extra bit to the game, keeps it going that little bit longer. And this is more of a game that you're meant to play, you know, like when you've got friends around or that kind of thing. It's one of those games you can pretty much play anyway. But yeah, neat little game this. So yeah, I've been, like I said, noticing as of late the ever so slight lack of you know, like AAA titles coming out. I mean, there's a lot in the pipeline, and there's one, I think I mentioned it before in other videos, not a horror game fan as such. I mean, I do like Last of Us. I wouldn't particularly say it's a horror game, more of an apocalyptic survival game, but oh shit. But I do like the odd horror. It all depends on what it is. Now, I've never been the greatest fan of Friday the 13th, but the Friday the 13th game, which is underway and should be out, according to the developers, some point in, oh, when was it now? I think it's the end of October, so they claim, around Halloween time. So that one, actually, to say I'm not a fan of Friday the 13th movies as such, I do actually like the idea of an official game, an officially licensed game, where you get to play as Jason. So it's cool. It'd be nice if I followed it up with a Halloween game where you get to play as Michael Myers. I suppose asking for a Poltergeist game might be pushing it, but and what the hell would you do in a Poltergeist game? Sort of, would you play as the ghost? Would you play as Carol Ann? What? I think it'd be kind of cool playing as Carol Ann. Now that'd be kind of cool. I think also when it comes to these things, the American McGee need to get cracking soon and bring us out and Alice free. Weirdly, funnily enough, I'll be honest, I haven't played any of the two previous Alices. I'm actually hoping to get round to playing Madness Returns. Never got my hands on the original one, but yeah, when I get my hands on Madness Returns, give that one a go, because it actually looks really, really good. It really looks for business, that game. So yeah, I suppose you could kind of do a Carol Ann-y Poltergeisty game, a bit like that, I suppose. Not sure how it'd work, but I mean, the Michael Myers game, you know, if I did a Halloween, I think would have to be very, very similar to what we're doing with Friday the 13th. I really do. Basically go around the neighbourhood slashing people up, that kind of thing, you know. I mean, I think it's safe to assume, or at least I'm going to say this, that I think with there already been a Friday the 13th game on its way out, I don't think anybody's going to attempt to do a Halloween game. I mean, 'cause it'd be too similar. The similarities would be too much. It'd just be basically the same thing with a different character in a different place, so... And but still plenty of other horrors out there that deserve a game, I guess. I mean, there is a mobile game for Scream. Now I know for a fact my wife would want a Scream game. She's absolutely obsessed with Scream, to the point of us going all the way to London, Comic Con from where we are. We do a lot of Comic Cons, but not generally London. And basically we went to London just so we could meet Neve Campbell, which was awesome, and she was majorly hot. Which sort of, at first, I was expecting my wife to sort of say, I went to meet her not for you to sort of, you know, like, sit drooling over her. I mean, I never had an opinion of Neve Campbell to the point where, you know, I ever thought, is she hot, is she not? Never really considered it. And then meeting her in person, she was actually really lovely, really nice, and yeah, she was hot. And my wife said, fair enough, what's the cut, because she's one of my favourites, you know, fine. So, and that was that. What is he doing? Pick another track. Alright, well, I would pick a track if it were planning on loading. I don't know if it's my PS4 or what, but the last few days for PS4 have been a little bit strange. As I mentioned in one of the other videos the other day, the live from PlayStation, where the Twitch generally is, where you can watch a live Twitch feed or a live view stream. First it started out with Twitch, they weren't loading whatsoever, they just weren't going anywhere, which was, you know, a little odd. I thought it'll rectify itself in a couple of days. I don't generally use Twitch that often. Every now and again I'll broadcast on there just to do something different, I guess. But yeah, once in a blue moon, something that is not loading. I don't know why that's not loading, folks. I wish I could tell you. I don't know if it's my hideous internet again. Just got to keep telling myself it is only a matter of days before I finally get fibre. Hopefully that'll rectify things, and I'll actually be able to start uploading these bloody videos in a better quality, because at the minute I've got them all in medium. I'm having to broadcast in medium, which doesn't help. And if I record these things on the PlayStation and then upload them later, I end up spending, what, about 2 hours waiting for a 15-minute clip to upload, which, you know, is well below par. Let's just randomly type in some words here and see what, see what comes up. I don't even think it wants to search, to be honest. You see, I suppose downloading the game and uploading at the same time. Well, I think we're coming offline, folks. And I'm not doing true, no. See, this game out of pretty much every game we've got is probably the one I play the least. Not that I've got a problem with it, I do like playing it, it's just, it's not one of those, I suppose it is one of those games that you can, you know, play with friends, that kind of thing. Like I said at the beginning, it is sort of a game when you've got friends around, it's something cool to play. Although the local multiplayer sucks, it really does suck. I think they put heart and soul into making this great, so it's just a case of you have a go, pass it to a friend, they have a go, that kind of thing. So, which is awesome. Not going to try anything too fancy in case I kill myself and make myself look like a giant tool. So, it says about making himself look like a giant tool. I've just done that very successfully, may I add. Where I probably find out that the internet's completely died, because it doesn't even want to connect to the leaderboards. That is not a good sign, folks. It's either because I'm doing it in the middle of an afternoon, which normally isn't a problem. You know, you can normally in an afternoon stream quite well. Check my internet again. Seems to be flickering a little bit today. Never a good sign. Yes, continue. So fingers crossed, like I said, you can all still see these videos. Hopefully I've not been disconnected. Now again, you never can tell. So yeah, I'm in front of deciding what games to try and get next. I mean, obviously, like I said, when you got 2 kids, and with me being a stay-at-home dad, obviously only my wife works, so it is a case of buying whatever he wants in the blue moon. I mean, to be honest, we still play a lot of PS3 and all the other consoles. As I've mentioned in previous vids, we have a lot of consoles and an arcade machine. So we don't generally go short of games, so it's got to be 9 out of 10 times something that we actually really want on the PS4 in the first place. It's not just a case of go out, buy a game, see if it's okay. You know, it doesn't really work that way. Obviously, when you're on a limited budget, it is a case of getting what you can when you can. And I think it is looking likely. I mean, my wife knows this, so she'll watch this video back. It's not going to matter, but I think it's likely that my wife's going to end up getting Drive Club for her birthday, and possibly one of the PESs. See, if there's one thing about the PES games, I'm not a football fan. I'm just not. My wife is. I'm not. I mean, she was born in Newcastle, which means that obviously she's a Newcastle supporter. Grew up in a big sort of football family, so she knows probably more at me in this stage. I mean, her and my dad get on quite well when it comes to football, despite the fact that he's Man United. So yeah, but one thing I find about the football games, I have two slight issues with them. It's one, well, they've probably mould into the same issue, I guess. I think the major problem is with most games, they will hold value for a while. I mean, it is very, very rare that we ever buy a game and trade it, get rid of it, that kind of thing. A game has to be pretty bad, or, you know, there has to be something about it why we'd trade it in or sell it, which is very rare, because we like to build our game collections and keep them. Now, my theory with the, well, most sports titles, I would guess, I mean, it's like, same with the basketball games, the hockey, that kind of stuff. If it has a game where immediately a year after it gets updated practically the same with a couple of extra names, shirts thrown in, that kind of stuff, it doesn't make a great deal of sense to me to go out and buy one of those at full price only for the year after to have it literally devalued to the point where you'll be lucky if you got a tenth of what you paid for it back. I mean, like I said, holding on to these games is fine, but most with football games, you just like to play them for the sheer hell of it, just for a bit of fun. I just did that one, didn't I? Yes. Let's move on. So, I think it's just a case of with the PES games, I would rather buy the year before than buy the current years, because, like I said, unless you're absolutely football obsessed. I mean, for my wife, I don't think she's fussed either. She's the same as me. Same thing. She just wants to have one of them. And, you know, like maybe when the... say, for example, I bought it for 2015. When the 2016 goes down in a couple of years, then we'd update to that one. Rather than just going out and buying it directly when it comes out and then losing a ton of money on it. So, rather buy it, you know, used. And that kind of thing. So... I think it's just me. I mean, I used to be of the same thing with the wrestling games, but with the wrestling games so far, we've only actually had two on the PS4. The 2015-16. Now, obviously, with that one, I would rather get the 16, mainly for the fact that it's got a hell of a lot added to it. It actually has a point to getting it now. It's not just a case of, well, I want it because it's the most modern one. I think it is mainly because it has a lot of stuff on it, you know? So... See, now, wrestling, I probably understand better than football. Well, old wrestling. I mean, I'm talking the days of Hogan and Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior and all those guys. The, as I call it, the golden years of wrestling. Times when wrestlers all had like a gimmick and everybody looked different from each other, and it was all bright colours and all that kind of thing. And now it's everybody looks like each other. They all use basically their own name. It used to be like in my day, like Macho Man, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Earthquake, Typhoon. Now it's Billy Bob or what's his name, Zack Ryder, and that kind of thing. It's like, well, that's fine. That's, you know, if that's the name I want to go with. It's just not very catchy. And they all dress like each other. Nobody has a particular sort of colour set or gimmick. You know, it's... I think it's gone a little bit too serious, I guess. I think it's kind of like they've sucked all the joy out of it. Everything that made wrestling fun is gone, pretty much. Now you're just left with the wrestling, which they will argue, well, you know, they're here to see the wrestling, blah blah blah, but if, you know, you're trying to get people's attention, you're trying to get people to watch, you want colourful. I mean, you want the big names. I mean, it's like Undertaker, everybody knows him. He's, up until a few years ago, I heard was still going. I think he still works for him. Hence the reason, I mean, obviously I don't watch wrestling anymore. In upcoming videos, sooner or later, I am going to be doing some wrestling videos with my good friend Jay, who will be eventually joining us. I mean, obviously at the minute, because obviously he works a lot and because he lives a little bit of a distance away, it'll be every now and again. But when we do them, we will be doing wrestling videos and pretty much doing video commentary where we just literally talk about wrestling all the way bloody through, which is fine, you know. Oh, this is the one where you've just got to do it by pressing your button. I suck at this one. Great, new personal record. And the online side doesn't want to work. Hopefully PSN's not gone down. I wouldn't be surprised though. Yeah, so if you see this video, you're into wrestling, keep an eye out for those videos. I will be coming as soon as possible. As soon as I get my hands on the 2016 wrestling game, which I'm guessing is going to be next month. And then as soon as I can get my buddy down to come and do it with me, and then we'll turn the wrestling broadcast into a more regular kind of thing. We'll do it quite often, at least as much as we possibly can, turn it into a regular thing. So yes, keep an eye out for that, folks. That will be coming sooner or later. There's one other thing that I have noticed, as of late, I think it's the last couple of days, when do his live broadcasts, I mean, I'm not bothered by the fact one bit. I mean, yeah, I like it when people watching me, that's grand. If I don't, that's fine. I mean, main reason of doing these videos like this anyway is, obviously I want them on YouTube, I want people to watch them later, tube, that way, rather than having to upload a clip, which will take forever and a day, because trying to upload anything at this moment in time from here is an absolute nightmare. So it's a lot easier to do an hour and a half clip, which will be on YouTube about an hour after I've done the live broadcast, and do it this way. But I have noticed as of late, especially I imagine it could be the times I'm doing it, certain, you know, like time patterns, time zones, that kind of thing. Don't have as many people watching in certain parts of the day, which, like I said, I can live with. I mean, I think some people will probably say that I'm doing this to entertain myself, which is true. I mean, a lot of it, you know, I am probably entertaining myself on a few of these. And I think as well, it is a case of there is so many people now doing this. I mean, the fact that the PS4, you can live stream your game directly to it, add video like I'm doing, it is obviously going to make the amount of views on everybody's videos less and less, and more people do it, which is fine, you know. People watch it, that's great. If they don't, that's fine too. All I know is that I have a lot of fun doing this. My son has a lot of fun doing this when we do it. He kind of feels like he's on TV, so, which is nice. And then more recently, my wife finally started to get in on the action after begging and pleading to say, can we please do a husband and wife video? Do I have to? And eventually she's kind of gone with it, and I think, to be honest, the other day, as much as she refuses to admit it, I think she actually enjoyed it more than what she lets on. So, right, now, question is, what did I do with my phone? I had it, and now I have lost it, which is not a good sign, because I need to be keeping an eye on the time. Oh, there it is, right next to me. The reason why I have to keep an eye on the time is because it's that time in the afternoon again, and I have to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on the time so I go pick up my son on time from school. Otherwise he's not going to be very happy if he's the only kid left there. So, today being one of those incredibly rare afternoons. I think I managed 2 of these afternoons so far. I've managed to do a video on an afternoon, and the first time I think was because my son was asleep, And oh no, tell a lie, no it wasn't. Same as today. At my grandparents'. So, only downside of only having one set of grandparents living around us. It seems my parents are 350 miles away from where I live, right down on the coast. So yeah, not easy for getting them to babysit. And it's once in the blue moon, which, you know, grateful for when it happens. But on this strange occasion, my son is at school, my wife is at work, and the other one is at his grandparents. So, wife said to me before she left, get in a little bit of gaming if you want, you know, get on there. So here I am. Only downside to this particular time slot in an afternoon is majority of people aren't watching. In all honesty, I think probably the most successful day to stream anything is either a Saturday or a Sunday, obviously, when kids are off school, parents are off work. Well, most parents. I say my wife ends up having to work the odd Saturday, Sunday. So, oh yeah, I would say that there's a few more people at home on those particular days, so I think that is probably a better day for streaming, but take it while I can.
Visitors entering this area. Be careful of long drops.
So I think for now that is going to be it for my bit of Trials. I've had my little rant. Like I said before, if there's any particular remasters you want to see out there, let me know in the comment section, because I'm curious to know what everybody else is wanting. Never know. Eventually, or hopefully, somebody from PlayStation might just happen to see some of this stuff and think, I know, they've got a good idea, that lot. Let's go with it. Let's bring out Rocky Legends as a remaster. I'm seriously doubting this one, but you never know. Weirder things have happened, so we shall see. So, if you see this video, thanks so much for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down there. If you're on something where it doesn't let you subscribe, so I don't know. I mean, people are watching these videos in lots of different ways now, and don't know if there's an automatic way to subscribe that way. But if there isn't, it is BadWolfGamerUK, all one word, on YouTube. You'll know when you've found my one because it's got a big wolf symbol there, so you'll know it. So, thanks again for watching, and I will see you again on the next video, which more than likely is probably going to be in about 10 minutes with a different game. So, thanks so much, I will see you all later.